Hello class, welcome to lab number 1, exploring Linux distributions. Let's go to our website real quick and let's go to lab 1. Requirements: bold your answers, take good screenshots. Let's get started. First, let's open VS Code. Perfect. Let's minimize that guy. Let's open our file explorer. Make sure you create a folder called lab1, and then inside the folder lab1 we're gonna create a file called text document. We're gonna call this file lab1 submission .md. Make sure that the extension is .md. If you cannot see extensions in your computer, make sure you go to view and click on file name extensions. It's important you have that enabled. Now we're gonna close that. We're gonna go back to VS Code. We're gonna click on file, open folder, and we're gonna open our lab1 folder. We're gonna click select, and our environment is ready to work. So let's click on the file over here and let's put a couple of things here. So the first thing that I want you to do is put 3 dots here, 3 dots in the bottom, and then put your name, which is your name, and then just put course and call your course CIS 106, and that's it. Okay, now over here we're gonna put a pound sign and call this lab 1 exploring Linux distributions. Perfect. Now over here we're gonna call this question 1, and I'm gonna copy this to make my life easier. Question 2, question 3, question 4, question 5, and question 6. This lab has 6 questions. Okay, perfect. Now we're gonna go back over here. What I want you to do is copy this, paste that over here in question 1, right? Number this guy up. There you go. And you're gonna type your answer right there. We're gonna get rid of this because we don't need it. We're just setting up our document before we get started to make our life easy. So we're gonna do the same thing with this guy. This is for question 2. And for question 3, question 4, same thing. The only difference is that for this we're gonna provide a different formatting. We're gonna do this heading 3 and the question, and then we're gonna use this table over here. Make sure you create that table, and then same thing for these guys over here. And this guy over here as well. Now let's build that little table. The headers are distro name, website, and desktop environment. Distro name, website, and desktop environment. Okay. Question 5 is a simple paragraph, so you just leave it as is. And then these are just gonna be 3 screenshots that you're gonna take, so we don't have to do no boilerplate or anything. Okay, so now that we created our document where we're gonna put all our answers, just do this, because most of these are one answer, a one word answer for the most part, so we don't need the spaces. Now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go all the way up and go to distrowatch.com and bad gateway, there you go, perfect. Play around with this website, read it, go everywhere, click in other places, just get familiar with the website. Once you get familiar with the website, come back to the question and do this. On the top of the website, on the top left corner, there is a form, right? There is a form here. What you want to do is in the type distribution name box, you're gonna type Ubuntu. And you're gonna click on Go. Ubuntu. I'm gonna click on Go, and this page is going to appear. Read this page, then answer these questions over here. Question number 2. We're gonna click on random distribution. And everybody should get a different one. Answer these questions over here. Right? Don't forget to bold your answers. For example, what is the OS type for Ubuntu? Right? Notice that OS type, my answer is over here, Linux. So what I do is that I come back here and I type Linux. Got it? Let's continue. Question number 3. We're going to click on search. And what we are going to do is, this seems to be a typo over here. I'll fix it after the video is done. So we're going to click on search. Perfect. And then over here, we're going to fill in the blanks. With what? With this. Oh, I got it. This is supposed to show you the query that you need to search by. So I'm gonna provide over here a screenshot of the query that I need you to run. The information that I need you to put over here. And then you're gonna click on submit query. You're gonna pick one of the distributions that appear in the option and you're gonna answer these questions over here. And that's it. For example, if I tell you to choose Linux over here, Linux, and then give me process architecture IRC, and then click on submit query. Pick one of these distributions and answer the questions that you see over here about the distribution. Question number 4. Now you know how to use DistroWatch. What I want you to do is that you use the knowledge of DistroWatch that you have to find operating systems that solve these problems. Look for an operating system used for data rescue and then put the information here. Look for a distribution that's used for education purposes and that supports this processor architecture. Now look for a distribution that supports OEM installation and then answer the questions over here. That's what you're gonna do for question number 4. Now, question number 5. Question number 5 is extra credit. You don't have to do it if you don't want to, right? You don't have to do question 4 to 5 if you don't want to because it's just an opinion pretty much. Read it and you'll know what to do. Question number 6. You're gonna use distrotest.net. This is a website that allows us to test Linux distributions on the fly by launching a virtual machine that's stored somewhere on the net. What you're gonna do is that you are going to start one of the distributions. I'm going to start Linux Lite. It hasn't started yet, so we need to wait. Okay, we're going to wait about less than a minute. So let's wait until it's done loading. There you go. Open BMC. And we need to take a screenshot of this. I'm in Windows, so I'm going to look for a snipping tool or a snip and a sketch, whichever tool you prefer. And we're going to click on New. I'm actually going to switch this to... Nah, I'm going to use a snipping tool. Snipping tool. Switch this to Windows Snip. And I'm going to click on... Nope. Come back. There you go. And I'm gonna click on new and click on this. I'm gonna save this and I'm gonna put it in my documents folder lab 1 and I'm gonna name this all lowercase question 6.1.png and I'm gonna save it. Let's go back over here. Locate the terminal application in the distribution you started and type the following command, uname -a. Okay, so we're gonna look for the terminal application here. Let's wait until this finish loading. In the meantime, why don't we put the answer of question 6 over here. It's called question 6.1.png. Make sure that the name matches exactly the name of the file. And we're going to call this question 6.1. See how my document is looking like so far. Perfect. Okay, this has almost finished loading. This might take a little bit depending on your internet connection, so be mindful of that. Okay, I'm gonna close this. And I'm gonna click on menu. And we're looking for an application called Terminal. So Terminal. Terminal Emulator. Click. And we're gonna type the command uname -a and press enter. Now we need to take a screenshot of this, so we're gonna go back here again and I'm gonna click on new, click on the window that I want to capture and then click on save. And I'm gonna call this question 6.2.png and I'm gonna click on save. Let's go back to our lab over here. Stop the machine and take a screenshot of the browser window showing that the machine has been stopped. Okay, perfect. So we're gonna go here, menu, shut down, shut down. Okay, now we're gonna go back in here and we're gonna do system stop. System stopped. You can either give me a screenshot of this or you can give me a screenshot of the previous window that was over here. I'll take either or. So click on new here, save question 6.3.png. Question, oh sorry, q6.2.png. Question 6.2. q6.3.png and then question 6.3. Save, preview. Notice that I saved my file because the little white dot is no longer over here. And once you have completed this entire lab, we can close that, right? Again, I didn't complete these questions because, you know, This is not something that's difficult to do. We're gonna click on right click, export to PDF. And because the submission requires that I submit the URL to my GitHub repository, I will have to go to GitHub. Go to my repository, right? And I need to upload these files. So I'm going to go to Add File, Upload Files. Just files to upload. I'm gonna go back to Documents, click on Open, select all of these, click on Open. Perfect. I'm gonna click on Commit Changes. And now I'm gonna look for my lab1 submission.md. Click on this one and give me this URL. This is the URL that you need to give me. Right? Copy this, because that's what I'm gonna grade. And we're gonna go to Blackboard real quick. Now we're gonna click on CIS 106 and we're gonna go to labs. You're gonna find lab 1 over here. As a matter of fact, let me create it right away. So we're gonna go to assignment, lab 1. The submission for this will be, that's next week's lecture, so that will be the 15th at midnight. Okay, points available are 100. This will be displayed until the 15th at midnight. Okay, click on submit. And now we click over here, browse local files, give me the PDF. I don't need the markdown, I only need the PDF. Click on open and write a submission. Over here, you're gonna put the URL to your GitHub submission, which is this one over here, right? And then you're gonna click on submit, and you have completed lab number 1. If you have any questions, please reach out to me via Slack.